Okay, so in this video we'll create our very first program. So for that we need a new workspace. Select C++ workspace and we'll call it um, getting started. Okay, so in last video we created a basic code displaying hello testing. Now first we'll create our template because we don't want to write that basic code over and over again. So first we still need to create a new project. We'll call it, say, first program. We'll select consoles, and everything will be same. So we'll create a new project. Now this is again the C code which you don't want. We'll create a basic template code. We'll use an include IOStream. Then this time around we'll use a namespace. By using this namespace, we don't have to write that standard over and over again, so we can just use cout and then insertion operators. Let's create a main function, and this is again open parentheses and close parentheses, and not zero, even if it looks like one. Okay. Now we can use this namespace standard inside our main function, but if we do that, the namespace standard applies only inside the main function. We'll talk about scope operators later in the session. Okay, so now we need to just write that basic code again. Cout insertion operators will say template, and then again insertion operators and end line. You see, this time around we don't have to use standard and then two semicolons. That is because we used the namespace standard. Now after this is done, we'll do one return 0. Okay, so before we save it as our template, we need to make sure the code is error free. So for that you need to build and run. Now you can see it prints out template, so it's good. Now to save it as a template, we need to go to our first program, right click it and save as template. We'll call it, say, CPP template. You can select it as console, but what you really want to do is select it as user templates. And description, you can do anything. 1 2 3, you can do anything. Okay, now the template has been saved. Now we'll check if the template works correctly in a few moments, but this is all we need to set up. Now we are ready to start coding. So now what we are going to make is a very simple program. All this program is going to do is it's going to ask a user to input a number between 1 to 100, and when user does it, it's going to store that number in a variable and output it as, yeah, that's my favorite number too. Just, a really basic program, but after we do that, you really will get the hang of it. So let's start. Okay, so before we create a program, we will need to rename this project because it's not a first program, it's a template. So we'll say it as template. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, it's all done. Now we'll create our new project. Now we'll name it as first program. We'll in this time we won't create category as console. We'll use a user template and type will be our CPP template which we just created. What it will do is it's not gonna preset it to the C code which we usually delete, and then write our new code, it's going to preset it to our template. So we'll do OK. Now you can see our first program is created. Now what we want to do is we want to double click it so it becomes bold, and which says it's our active program. You can either do it by right clicking it and make active. Now it's our active program. So now you can see it's preset it to our template. Now all we have to do is change this to, let's say, mm, we can say enter your favorite number. We'll say between 1 to 100. So it's just gonna ask the user to input a number. For user to be actually able to input a number, we need to create a new variable, because it's gonna be an integer. We are gonna use an int type variable. Let's call the variable fav underscore num, and then and semicolon at the end. So after that's done, we'll just type cin. What this does is it allows user to input the number we want. So we are going to use an extractor operator. After that, we're going to just type fav underscore num. Okay, so after that is done, we'll say cout and an insertion operator, and we'll add a string saying great, um, that's my favorite number 2, and we'll end the string and we'll do an end line. So this is basically it. Our code is complete. This is a really basic program, so it shouldn't be that difficult. So we're gonna build. So after we build it, it's gonna ask us for our favorite number between 1 and 100. If I do 90, it's gonna say great, that's my favorite number too. So that's basically it. You have successfully created your first program. So in next video, I'll go over the details on how are these programs built. So if you are enjoying the series so far, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.